I've come here to discuss one of the most perplexing aspects in English language, and that is pronunciation. So I'm asking you to write because I want you to commit to your own self, and then we will discuss what is the correct pronunciation of these words. Thank you very much. I don't want you to loudly speak it. Just put it down on a piece of paper. And I would need a volunteer when finally we would take each word to go to people who want to tell the pronunciation of this word. I'll keep clarifying, this is not your test. We are collectively trying to arrive at something. Are you guys done? Let's take the first word. When I read it simple, it looks as if it is written Sachet. Look at this. You can't challenge what I'm saying. What is your pronunciation? Okay. The second word? All right, the third word? Very nice. Fourth? Fifth? Can you come a little louder? Okay. Extempore. Oh, confusion. This is what I want. Next. All right. Next. Okay. The next one. Come again. All right. Now these are the correct pronunciations. Let's read them together. The first one is sachet. All right. Our concern is not being right or wrong. We're just trying to do a feasibility check sort of a thing. The next is the most crazy of all pronunciations in English, the big daddy of crazy pronunciation. It is Paresh. Hello? And I have checked with Advanced Learner's Dictionary. All right? What you're saying is penchant is an American pronunciation, which is very popular. Well, the first one, look at this. Just deliberate upon it. P-E-N-C-H-A-N-T. Where do you get this Paresh from? Hello? Let's move on. The next is genre. There's no no. In case I heard genre. Fine. Genre is genre. Genre, genre. The next one is again something very interesting. Awry. Extempore. A lot of us say extempore. It's extempore. Automobile. A lot of us say automobile. This is another word where there's a lot of problem. It's entrepreneur. It's long entrepreneur. There's no nor. This one, sabotage. 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 And that one was correct. Now, can anyone answer why so? Why do you have such crazy pronunciations in English language? And there is, an all-pervasive confusion about pronouncing a particular word in the right way. Another question that we need to ask is, do we need to do this? Should we ape an accent? Deleting our identity and say Paresh? Or should we say penchant? Or we say penchant? What do you want to say? Confusions. And I want you to think, and we will collectively try and arrive at some conclusions. I will not impose them on you. All right, I have my doctoral research in this area, so I'll have some humble submissions in the area. But I want all of you to think about it. Can anyone respond? There are a few questions that I asked. Why there's so much of disaster? I'll tell you a joke. I come from the other side of the country. I come from Gujarat. Pay attention to this simple little joke. There's a small village, and within this village there was a small school. A huge banyan tree under the shade, a lot of students. There's an issue on student or student. Which one is correct? Student, student, stupid, stupid. Issues. All right. So this student was sitting, and the teacher on the blackboard writes N-A-T-U-R-E and gets hold of the first student who was sitting right opposite the teacher and says, read for me what is written on the board. He put all his intellectual property on the stake and said, it is na to re. Na, N-A, na, T-U, to, R-E, re. The teacher got wild, he held him by his wrist and dragged him to the father and said, look, your son, I wrote N-A-T-U-R-E on the board, and he's reading it as na to re. The father was fond of English. He said, if this is the case, what is going to be his future? Hello? Beta ek numbri, baap 10 numbri. On a serious note, you can't blame both the father and the son. Where in the world you have T-U as ch? Tell me. Bring out one language. A lot of these, yes. I mean, there are hundreds of words, but how does T-U become ch? When we learnt it in our schools, we were said letter T is t, letter U is oo. When you put them together, it gives you two. And there's no problem. All right, now these are French words. And most of these French words are mostly crazily pronounced words. You have issues on restaurant and restaurant. Enormous confusions. And I would solve this problem. I would try to. I'll humbly submit what should be done. For any learning to take place, there has to be some confusion. And I'm trying to create this confusion. I'm trying to derive a little bit of a sadistic pleasure. Forgive me for that, but then that is needed. Let's go forward. Now, I'll put across a slide of the words which are an everyday affair. Now, these were very strange words, the previous set of words. I don't want you to speak them loudly. Just read these words and commit to yourself what is the pronunciation of these words for you, your own self. No chorus, please. Commit it to your own self. Simple, everyday words. Respecting time, I am cutting short the round of my sadistic pleasure. I'm going to the next slide quickly. The first one is tomb. There's no ba. A lot of us say tomb, but ba is not there, it's tomb. The next is normally pronounced as bass. In the music system you have bass and treble. This is bass. Then you have garage. This word is dangerously mispronounced. Three-tire AC. Hello? It is three-tier AC. You don't have tires in the railways, you know. Another word, it's memento. All right? It's not toe. The stress is on the second syllable. And a lot of us end up saying toe. A lot of people say memento. All right? But then this is the correct pronunciation. The popular version of this is mythology. It's mythology. All right? When you have a polysyllabic word, you cannot have the last two syllables loudly pronounced. You cannot say logy, it's always laji. Mythology. Speak with me. Mythology. That's the energy. Simple looking word, but generally mispronounced. It's prestige. Prestige, not prestige. It is my prestige issue to stand and talk to all of you. All right? Another simple word, a slippery word, I'll tell you. It is serious. All of you listen to me seriously. All right? Salad, a commonly mispronounced word. Now there's this sir and zer confusion. We call it disease. It is disease. Now there's an enormous confusion and sir and zer. To what we call cosmetic is cosmetic. To what we call disease is disease. To what we call police is police. And this is not my invention, guys. Simple word. There are two variants. The first is issue. Issue. And the second is issue. Sa-ya-u. And that is a long one. Issue or issue. Good. Now, with these small little examples, I wanted all of you to come to a platform where now there is a space for discussing why there are these problems in this pronunciation. According to me, English is one of the most stupid, orthographically and phonologically confused language. Orthography is system of writing and phonology is system of speaking, and there is no connection. Most of us who speak English as a second language, in a lot of cases it is a third language. The problem is the sound system of our mother tongue, the language that we learn as children, always comes to interfere in the speaking of the second or third language, whatever it is in your case. Now, it is not bad. Please don't misunderstand my entire mission here. I am not here to tell you your pronunciations are wrong. I'm here to tell you that this is a slippery terrain. Tread carefully. Pay a little attention. Well, there are confusions. If there are confusions, there are solutions. I want some of you to respond to this question now, which is still remaining pending from the first slide onwards. Why there are these issues in English pronunciation? Look, I am not proof. I am one of you. I am speaking English as a second language. I may not be in a position to follow 100% what is written here. So don't tell me, sir, that you had issue, but at the moment you're saying issue. I'm one of you. And I have no problem admitting that I neither am 100%, British in my pronunciation, and nor I want to be. And none of us have to be. That probably is an agenda, but let's discuss. Can some responses float? I'm beginning to feel exhausted talking. I want some version from your side. What are your versions? Why do we have these problems in pronunciation? This mic would float. देखो ये ध्यान का शिविर नहीं है. हेलो, अपने स्थिर सुखासन में से बाहर निकल के मेरे से बातें करें. Otherwise, I'll take the most boring lecture that I can possibly take. And the teachers are capable of doing this. Hello? So some responses. I think a mic will come. Hold on, just hold on. I know it'll waste time.
Sir, because English language is having an influence by the other languages, that is why.
Okay, that's one. I'll tell you the recipe of English language. Take a big bowl, put all the languages of the world, stir it for 2 hours. What you have in the bowl now is English language. There are more than 375 words of Indian origin officially having its position in 8th edition of Advanced Learner's Dictionary, which is the current one in case some of you are using it. Lathi charge is an English word, band is an English word, khaki is an English word, loot is an English word, karma is an English word. All right, thank you very much for your submission. What else? This is one that probably because it is the mixture of the world languages, but even words which are primarily English are still a problem. Chalo, French words problem ho sakte hai. Yeah.
Cultural barriers. If you are in British, then your first language is English. But if you go to Spain or France, their first mother tongue is French and Spanish. So, this is
fine. All right. Thank you. All responses are welcome. There's somebody who's going to give a good jog to our volunteer.
Yeah, I think this has something to do with the anarchist mentality of the English people. They just want to have fun with us and, confuse the hell out of us. I think
Come again. This is very interesting.
I think the English people, the person who's discovered this language, he just wants to have fun with me, confuse the hell out of me. And okay. I can't see any scientific reasoning behind this language. If you see Sanskrit or Devanagari, it is so scientific. What you say is what you read is what you say.
There you are.
Why can't I use that, the thing for the
I think he deserves a good round of applause.
I mean, I'd rather use the English I'd rather use the phonetic alphabets than the English alphabets. It reduces a lot of confusion.
That's proper, I think. That's proper. He is hitting at the root of the problem. I think you should be here. All right? Good. I think this was a very nice response. One last response. Anyone else? Yeah, please.
So from our very childhood, we always learn the wrong pronunciation. We don't have much opportunity to listen or learn about the original pronunciations. So that's why we tend to always do mistakes in our pronunciations.
Okay. Well, that's true. But what is right pronunciation? I'll come to you. You have the response for the last question. Can someone give her a mic, please?
I think according to me, maybe English has developed through the era, so the language pronunciation get developed more and more through the ages. And another thing is that
यहाँ पे development नहीं है, यहाँ पे deterioration है साला. That is the problem. Anyways, but what you're saying is right.
another thing I want to say about the origin. Like different people come from different origin. So their pronunciation, their way of speaking is different. So the development has changes through that era also, through that time. So there is a little issue about this language.
All right, very nice. Now, this is another question. What is correct pronunciation? Does anyone know this? Yeah?
Which sounds correct.
I'll come to you, yes.
Which sounds correct. When we
What?
speak it, it sounds good.
All right, it sounds good. That's dangerous.
Phonetically, it sounds good.
Phonetically sounds good, very nice. But who would decide whether it sounds good or not? On what parameters you would say that this sounds good or this doesn't sound bad, this doesn't sound good? Yeah, यहाँ पे एक respondent है. मुझे बहुत मजा आ रहा है आप इतना participate कर रहे हो. I think
Hello?
all of you need a round of applause for your own self before you speak. Thank you for the participation.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's a big incentive for participation. Everyone who participates, participation is defined as not standing up but contributing relevantly something relevantly in the workshop, would get one pen drive. Hello? Now there's going to be a problem. I'm not going to ask a question now. The whole audience stands up. And maybe for answering my own question, I'll put my hands up in the air. A pen drive, I tell you.
Yes.
Yes, gentlemen.
Yes. The correct English for me is like which may be understandable. Which may be understandable for people.
Come again. Little slow and loud.
The correct English for me is like which may be understandable.
Understandable hai.
Yes. It's
Okay.
like the people may understand.
All right.
The
Good.
correct English.
If, he is drawing the bottom line to this entire controversy. He says, if what I speak, you understand, my correct pronunciations are all right. Hello? If I say penchant, if I say penchant, or if I say penchant, anything at all, if it makes sense to you, it is a correct pronunciation.
The pronunciation is different in everywhere, in all over the world. The words are like different. Yeah. In India, we pronounce a word in different way. In other parts of the world, we pronounce that word in a different way.
Good.
So it's like
Your pen drive is a short. Thank you very much. I'm playing a video for all of you. Taking a leaf from what he's saying, he said there are different kinds of pronunciation. Let's have a look at this video.
Silencio! What do you want? You Silencio!
A little more loud.
Silenzio!
What do you want?
You're supposed to be studying the books.
Who say so?
I say so. Yeah? Look, professori so put me in charge. You gotta do what I tell you. Now, I'm gonna ask you the questions, and you're gonna give me the answers. Okay, Cocky. Ali.
Yeah, yes, please.
What is a noun?
Oh, blimey. It is very simple. Nauna is a lady who is living in a convent.
Castellana. Jamila. What's the plural of a thief? The plural of a thief.
A thief. Robbers.
No, not robbers. Look, these are robbers. One a thief, two
Thieves.
That's better. Max, what's the opposite of bitter?
Water.
That's not right.
Sure it is. Opposite of bitter money is water money.
One, I asked you the question. What is the name for a group of cows?
Por favor.
Hey, come on, you know what I'm saying. You might fool Professor, you not fool me, huh? Now, what's the name for a group of cows?
I don't know.
A herd of cows.
Por favor.
Herd of cows.
Sure, I heard of cow.
Santa Maria, a herd of cows is a lot of cows.
And you speak a lot of both. Thank you, Giovanni.
Thank goodness you're back. I tell you, Professor, I don't know how you put up with all these foreigners.
This is what the world looks like today. In the responses, I got a lot of versions. There are a lot of people who said there are many varieties of English spoken across the world. You know what? There are as many varieties of English as many native languages. And there are close to 3,000 plus languages spoken across the world, giving rise to 3,000 plus varieties of English. Now, this was the thrust of my research. My doctoral research was on strategies for reducing mother tongue interference in Gujarati learners of English, that's where I come from, for attaining international intelligibility. Now, this is where the problem is, my dear friends, and then we would move on to look at the solutions. The problem is, if English language has to live up to the rightful role that is associated to it, that is being the world's link language. We all call it a link language, am I right? You know, if this was not there, and probably if Hindi was not there as a national language, it was impossible for me to connect to you. Now, if it has to live up to its role of being an international language, a link language, it has to be intelligible across the breadth and the width of the world. Will you agree with me? Hello? I know this hello is a wake-up call. All right? Because of the air conditioning and all that, you can get into autopilot anytime. This hello will wake you up. Another is the pen drive, you know. There are two things that will keep you alive today. Now what happens is, if a Nigerian is talking to a Caribbean, both of them are using English, but their Englishes are not intelligible. The world is almost like this. You know, you had a Russian, you had a Pakistani, you had an Indian. This is an amazing series. It is freely available on YouTube. If you want to write it down, the series was prepared by BBC and the name of the series is Mind Your Language. This incidentally was the source for your movie English Winglish. A large portion of the movie is based on what happens. You know, it is an interesting scene where a British teacher is teaching English to a lot of nationals, you know, a Russian, And then in their interaction, you could see, what is the plural of a thief? The Indian lady says robbers. The gentleman gets angry and says, these are robbers. Issues. At the moment, one of the biggest issues in the linguistic research is international intelligibility. Intelligibility as a term means what I speak, you should understand. What you speak, I should understand. With these many varieties of English, one of the global challenges is to make each variety of English intelligible to the other. Now let's assess the problem. You gave me the responses, but these are roughly some reasons why there's, mind-boggling issues as far as pronunciation of English is concerned. The first thing is orthography and phonology. Somebody said Devanagari and Sanskrit, my hero, he was hitting the root of the problem. Look, of all the languages, I have been doing a bit of a research in language over a period of 10 years, I would say. And I was positively amazed when some of the linguists across the world made the statement that you're making, gentlemen. The statement is, Sanskrit is world's most systematically constructed language. Undisputedly. In terms of its, orthography is system of writing, letters. Phonology is system of speaking. As far as the connection of what you write and what you speak is concerned, Sanskrit is probably one of the most lucid, one of the most authentic examples of well-constructed languages. NASA went on to say that for computer programming, Sanskrit is the most programming-friendly language. If I have some IT professionals, or IT, I was interacting with the guys when I was getting in. Now here, look, as I said, the example is they write N-A-T-U-R-E and speak nature. लिखते हैं क्या? Nature. बोलते हैं क्या? Nature. Nonsense. In none of the languages of India, you will have this problem. What you write, you speak, and what you speak, you write. If you put a matra on way, ver, it becomes way. Hello? Are you in the coverage? Thank you for being there. If you put it on k, it becomes k. If you put it in any letter, it gives you same simple realization. Another big problem is it has 26 letters in its alphabet. So they write this entire language using 26 letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And they speak this language in 44 sounds. What it leads to, there is a deficit of 18 letters. For 18 sounds, they don't have the written symbol. And therefore, as you said, this phonetic transcription was invented, International Phonetic Alphabet. Now, to bridge the gap, what do? They make marriages. If they want to write sh, they invite S and they invite H. They put them together and say, this is sh. Am I right? Now, such a compromise is not a feature of any language in India. Incidentally, all of them have come from Sanskrit. The root is Sanskrit. And the problem multiplies when it comes to vowels, my dear friends. In your English alphabet, how many vowels do you have? 5. Traditionally known A, E, I, O, U. Am I right? They speak 20 alphabets while speaking English. Hello? Now this leads to issues like this. Look at these 4 words: but, busy, buy, put. Tell me, what is the realization of letter U in all 4 words? In the first word, it is a, but. In the second word, same letter U is E, BZ. In the third word, same letter U is A. In the fourth word, same letter U is. Now, how in the hell are you going to know which one of these U is used? You are going to be perplexed forever looking at the way this language operates. Precisely as far as pronunciation is concerned. I can take a whole session on grammar and issues, but then that sometimes else. The next summit, isn't it? At the moment, let's focus on pronunciation. And then there's the issue of borrowed words. Some of you said that, so most of you were very close to what are the reasons for the problems in pronunciation. Words borrowed from other languages. And not that they borrowed these words, but the blunder that was created was the fact that they retained pronunciations. So what they were pronounced in French are pronounced even while speaking in English, and that makes it they retained the spellings. And that makes things a little more serious. And the last is MTI, the mother tongue interference. Look, it is a known linguistic fact that when you speak any second language, the sound system of the first language always interferes the speaking of the second language. I was interacting with some of my friends here. I was trying to assess Bengali influence on English speaking, because I was necessarily going to talk to a Bengali audience. There are 2 very powerful features that I could identify, along with some common features that all the Indians have, and that is what is going to be my next discussion. I have time till 11:30. 11:20. 11:20 I'll have to kill myself. All right. So what I was saying was that these issues pertaining to pronunciation in Bengali, there are 2 things which loudly come out when any Bengali speaker speaks English. The one is the conversion of a into a. I mean, if I'm speaking Bengali alphabet, I would say ka, ka, ga, ga. Namaste would become namaste. Am I right? That's how I started, but none of you responded. There wasn't even a smile on my effort. This is very bad of you as an audience. The second thing is the w sound converted into b. There's no obvious v. All right? The educated Bengalis have acquired this. These are the common features. So Vivek would become Bibek. Will you agree with me? Am I right on this reading? Okay. Now, let's go forward. This is very interesting. This is Professor Kachru, one of the most renowned linguists. He has given the projection of English today. English can be seen in 3 different circles. The first is the circle of native speakers. These are the countries where English is spoken as a native language. And then you go to outer circle. The outer circle are the countries which has English having an institutionalized identity. They were largely colonized, and the colonizers left English behind, and then it became an official language, and it has been used in the official communication of that country.